The Biden administration continues to face increasing public pressure to bring Brittney Griner home safely. That could not be more clear than what we saw this weekend when the WNBA gave us just the perfect example, I should say, of how to show up and show out when there is a really good cause at stake. The league honored Griner by kicking off All-Star Weekend with speeches from Randall Sharpton, Seattle Storm star Sue Bird, and also Griner's wife, who spoke directly to the president.
I want to make it very clear that our next move as supporters for BG is to make sure that the administration understands that they have our full support in doing any and everything necessary to be able to bring BG home, as well as every other wrongfully detained American.
And then during the second half of the All-Star game, every single All-Star wore Griner's number 42 and her name on their jersey. Griner pled guilty to drug charges in a Russian court just days ago. And joining me now to discuss, Kimberly St. Julian Varnon. She studies Russia and Ukraine as a PhD student at the University of Pennsylvania. And Kimberly, in an NBC Think piece, you write that the GOP is now focusing on Griner's arrest as a way to attack the president. But previously, they used her political activism as a way to justify her imprisonment in Russia. I mean, break down for us how this issue has become politicized and how Republicans have used Griner's arrest for political gain and even for maybe even their own amusement.
So this is something I started noticing pretty much as soon as the news broke out in the United States about Brittney Griner's detainment. Immediately, people were saying, well, Trump would have had her out by now. If Trump was president, this, that, and the other. And it bothered me because at that point in early March, we still had Trevor Reed and Paul Whelan, who were still in Russian detainment, who had been in Russian detainment for years. And so since then, particularly since Brittney Griner's team and her family have been more vocal about her detainment and her wrongful detainment in Russia, it's been much more a focus on, Brittney's past in terms of her protesting against the national anthem and having the national anthem played at WNBA games, her, firm stance for protecting BLM and LGBTQ rights. These particular aspects of her identity that she's very proud of are now being weaponized by the GOP and many Trump supporters online to say that she deserves her fate in Russia, or to say that she shouldn't even come back to the United States and they shouldn't exchange for her because she, quote unquote, dislikes America. All because she used her First Amendment right to, protest for better treatment in the United States.
I mean, at this point, we saw her in court plead guilty there, and her lawyers are obviously going through the process. But what is the path at this point in this process to get her released and home?
So in Russian court, it's a little bit different from the American legal system. So essentially what she did in court last week was acknowledge her guilt and gave an explanation for why she was acknowledging her guilt, particularly that she did not intend on breaking Russian law. And that's important, but the court system and the court case is still going to continue. You're still going to have the defense having to make their arguments. The prosecution is still going to have to show its evidence. So her next upcoming date on July 14th, we may not see a sentencing or the completion of the trial. So you have to have both sides to, show their evidence, make their arguments, and then you have your finishing statements. And then, since she's already acknowledged her guilt, you could see a beginning of a sentencing period. So we still have a little bit, a few weeks to go at least until we get a conviction. After conviction is usually when you start seeing the wheels turning for any type of prisoner exchange or possible pardon from Vladimir Putin. However, that still requires a conviction. So we're still looking at that 5 to 10 year conviction for Brittney's case. Even if she gets leniency from the Russian court, leniency often means the minimum sentence, which is still 5 years. So all of these things are still on the table for Brittney's upcoming hearing on the 14th and beyond.
Really, really helpful explanation about how we got up to this point and where we will go in this case. Kimberly St. Julian Varnon, thank you so much for being here today. Please stay safe. Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.